Nana, please hurry up. We need to visit the spiritualist so that he can stop the pending calamity.
You know that I am totally against visiting spirit mediums, it's against my beliefs. Also, the Bible forbids it.
Leviticus 19:31 KJV says, "Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards, to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God." Leviticus 20:6-7 says, "And the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits, and after wizards, to go a-whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people. Sanctify yourselves therefore, and be ye holy, for I am the Lord your God." 1 Chronicles 10:13 says, "So Saul died for his transgression which he committed against the Lord, even against the word of the Lord, which he kept not, and also for asking counsel of one that had a familiar spirit, to inquire of it." Deuteronomy 11:16-19 says, "Take heed to yourselves, that your heart be not deceived, and ye turn aside, and serve other gods, and worship them. And then the Lord's wrath be kindled against you, and he shut up the heaven, that there be no rain, and that the land yield not her fruit. And lest ye perish quickly from off the good land which the Lord giveth you. Therefore shall ye lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be as frontlets between your eyes. And ye shall teach them your children, speaking of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, when thou liest down, and when thou risest up."
You will not argue with me, Nana. We must go together as instructed. I am at the verge of losing my job and everything else that I have ever worked for. This spirit medium comes highly recommended, and I am sure that he will be able to erase my name from the list of people who are shortlisted for early retirement.
Things are getting tough in this country. Our governments have borrowed money from the global bank, and those bank loans came with economic structural adjustment terms and conditions that are putting a lot of people out of work.
It is bad, Nana. I didn't think that Uni Global, an international company, would have to retrench staff. Rumor has it that my name and the names of other long-serving staff members are on the retrenchment list.
What will we do if you go on early retirement? We still have 5 more years to finish paying off the mortgage.
Yes, and I still owe some money for constructing the new units that we are currently leasing out, not to mention the fact that I am the only one who earns an income in this household.
I asked you to allow me to work and go out there and acquire skills that will enable me to earn some money, but you refused and insisted that I take care of the children. I bake birthday cakes for fun, and I have made a small amount of money from that. However, you did not allow me to attend professional baking and cake decorating courses. If you had, perhaps today, I would be running a successful business.
Enough of that. You know what Isabella, my ex-wife, did to me. She was a nurse aide and she cheated on me several times, and since then I promised myself that I would never allow my wife to work. Besides, we needed someone to take care of the kids. We can't trust house helps.
All I am saying is that if you had trusted me a little bit and allowed me to study or acquire new skills, then I am sure that right now I would be running a successful catering or baking business, and we wouldn't be in this predicament. You know that I am an excellent cook, and I am also very good at teaching. Have you seen how I taught Graka to cook? She is only 16, but she bakes and cooks better than most women I know.
It's true. I regret that I didn't trust you as much as I should have, and I regret that I never supported your dreams. We need to go, Nana. What breaks my heart is that soon the company will take away the company car, and everyone will know that I lost my job. If there is anything that I fear, it's unemployment. How will I feed and take care of my large family? How will I pay off the mortgage and all of our other debts once I lose my job?
Romans 8:13-15 says, "For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die, but if ye through the Spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the Spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father." Matthew 6:25 and 31-34 says, "Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment? Therefore take no thought, saying, What shall we eat? Or, what shall we drink? Or, wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek, for your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. But seek ye first the kingdom of God, and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Take therefore no thoughts for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Revelation 21, 7-8 says, He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful, and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars, shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
Who will employ me at my age? I really wish I had started a successful business earlier on in life. All I know is sales and farming, hence, if I get retrenched then I will go into those fields, but for now, let's visit the spiritualist who comes highly recommended. I believe that he will stop me from being retrenched.
I don't agree, Brij. I believe that we should pray about this, accept God's will, and ask him to direct our paths.
Enough of that, hurry up, let's go.
Heaven help us all.
Brij believes that the spiritualist will cause his name to be removed from the retrenchment list. The question is, why is Brij a candidate for early retirement? If you look closely, you will realize that the company decided to hire graduates to replace its elderly staff, so someone with a business or marketing degree would be a good candidate for Brij's job. Brij had a lot of work experience, and he had diplomas and certificates in sales and marketing, but over the past 30 years, he did not advance his studies or see the need to obtain a degree. Hence, people with business degrees who were half his age were now being given first preference for Brij's job. It is important to keep upskilling in your chosen profession. Also, for your own peace of mind, it is best to have more than one source of income. Besides your job, you could earn an extra income from leasing out property like Brij, earn interest on investments, make money from your talents, start a legal side hustle, start investing in farming, or buy various company shares. The trick is to be consistent in your side hustle, continuously grow, continue to learn, and perfect your craft. Start planning for retirement as early as possible. Do not rely solely on your pension. You need to find something that excites you and that will keep you busy during your sunset years. It is said that people who keep themselves busy and maintain a healthy lifestyle after retirement tend to live longer. Losing a job, retirement, or retrenchment shouldn't be the end of the world. In fact, we need to bring up our children with the idea that they should have at least 2 steady incomes, one from their job or business, and another that they make from their God-given talents. This could be singing, playing musical instruments, carpentry, catering, tailoring, gardening, farming, writing, public speaking, storytelling, and so forth.
Braka, who do you think you are? How can you kick us all out of the house? Who are you to tell us to go and play outside?
Eric, get out of here now before I pounce on you. Watch me pull the strings on your hood. Scream if you can. Isn't it true that Dad has instructed me to clean the house and do all of the housework while you guys play, watch TV and enjoy your lives? For as long as my life is miserable, I promise you that I will make everyone's life here a living hell.
You have no right to boss us around.
Who are you to tell me what I can and what I can't do? Get out of here now. You will not make this house dirty, yet I am the one who cleans it. Get out now, I say.
No, I won't go. The others obeyed you, but I won't listen to you today.
Take your stinking self out of here. Dad loves you and spoils you all the time. You're his beloved son. You are used to being treated like a prince, but sorry mister, you are not anything close to being a prince to me. Don't let the special treatment you get from Dad fool you. You need to be a man and stand on your own 2 feet. In this world, you must achieve something for yourself in order for you to be counted as a somebody. In your case, all you ever do is run to dad for protection from the reality of any situation you find yourself in. You're not a man, you cannot stand up for yourself. For how long will dad protect you from the harsh reality of life? Dad flogs you at the end of every school term for coming last in class. You lick your wounds, but the moment a new term begins, you spend your days playing and drawing kung fu stuff in school books. What is wrong with you? Why don't you spend time studying and thinking about your future instead of fighting with a girl? You can't think for yourself, instead you run to dad every time. You're a spoilt brat. Just because your father spoils you, just because Mum Nana won't scold or discipline you out of fear of dad, it doesn't mean that I won't show you your place. If you dare cross me, I will put you in your place, and for as long as I do the cleaning in this house, you will do as I say regarding anything concerning this house. Right now, I instruct you all to get out of this house. Only my youngest brother can stay indoors while Mum and Dad are away, but as for the rest of you, I want you out of here.
Today, I am not going anywhere. I will not join my other brothers who listened to you and went outside to play. Today, I am playing indoors.
Fine, stay, but then you'll have to do all of the housework because I am not staying alone in this house with you. What if you abuse me? I will go and play with my friends outside while you finish mopping the floors, cleaning the toilets, putting floor polish, cleaning the windows, feeding the child, and cooking lunch. When Mum and Dad arrive, I will tell them that you volunteered to do all of the housework because you felt sorry for me.
I cannot do all that. I am better off playing outside. I'm outta here.
Thank goodness he left.
Brij was very strict with Grissa. He made her do all the housework, and treated her unfairly throughout her childhood simply because she was a girl. What he didn't realize is that he was distancing himself from her, and he was solely responsible for the division between his beloved older sons and Nana's children, particularly Grissa. Grissa would leave the room whenever her father entered it. Instead of telling her father exactly what she thought of him, Grissa chose to show him exactly what she thought of him. Grissa's upbringing and culture wouldn't allow her to verbally challenge her dad, but nothing could stop her from distancing herself from him to the extent of almost hating him. Grissa loved her father, but she hated the injustice. She chose to isolate herself and live in her own world. Interestingly, years later, when Brij retired, Grissa was the only child who was there to support Brij financially and who cared for Brij and the family. Brij's beloved sons abandoned him or only helped out a little bit at home whenever they visited, and yet the child he mistreated was always there for Brij until his very last moments on earth. Isn't it ironic? You favor some children and mistreat others. At the end of the day, your livelihood depends on the one you mistreated, for no reason. Brij would live to regret how he mistreated Grissa during her childhood.
Mother.
What is it, Eric? What is pursuing you?
Gracka was mean to me today. She pushed me against the wall and forced all of us out of the house.
You're older than Gracka and yet you came here to report her to me.
Gracka is really mean to me.
So, what do you want me to do about it?
Dad doesn't allow anyone to ill-treat me, only he is allowed to scold me or tell me what to do.
Then wait for your dad and report Gracka.
No, I want you to scold her and deal with her now. She must stop bossing me around.
Listen here, Eric. I am not your dad who does whatever it takes to please you. I try my best not to show any favoritism, although my hands are tied as I cannot discipline you and your older brother in the same way that I discipline my other children. If I try to discipline you, then I will risk getting into a huge fight with your father, so I leave you to your demise. Only time will tell whose upbringing was right, mine or your dad's.
I don't care about all that. You must deal with Gracka.
No, you will not tell me what to do. After all, you are aware that Gracka fears no one and she is vindictive. I don't want to cross her path. She may stop talking to me, stop eating, find a reason to call the police, play mind games, use dirty water to cook our meals, or she may decide to lock us all up in the house and throw away the keys. You don't want to face the wrath of an angry woman. Especially, if that woman is Graca. I avoid getting into fights or arguments with Graca if I can help it.
Mother, you must deal with her. She disrespected me. Dad wouldn't have allowed that. If Dad was here, he would have dealt with her.
Be a man and go and fight your own battles.
No, you have to deal with Graca since you are older. You are our mother, so you must discipline Graca. Mother, you must do it.
Leave me alone. I'm not your mother. Get out of my bedroom now. What gives you the right to try and order me around? Get out now.
Eric was never the same again after Nana told him that she wasn't his mother. The family was now divided with Nana and Grissa on one side, and Brij and the boys on the other side. The next day, Nana told her biological sons that Matthew and Eric were not her sons. She told them about her other son, Robert Hale Tosh, and made all of her children promise never to tell their dad what they knew. On one hand, Brij told Nana that he wanted all of his children to be united and to be treated fairly. However, he favored his sons, especially the two sons from his previous marriage, and ill-treated his daughter. Brij caused the very division that he was afraid of. The evil spirits were behind this mess. The whole family needed deliverance. However, the children were never united, as some chose to follow Brij's footsteps, albeit to their demise, whilst others, Nana's children, chose to follow Christianity, and some completely abandoned Brij's ways. Check yourself. Ask yourself what you are doing that has unintended consequences. Brij favored and overprotected his older sons and spoiled them in the process. Also, the very sons that he loved so much abandoned him. Brij mistreated his daughter, and in return, she distanced herself from him and the rest of the family. In fact, she became susceptible to a lot of evil, because she was lonely and her heart was continuously in pain. Brij did not value female children. In fact, he said it was a waste of time to spend money on them since they were destined to leave the house and get married. Any investment in girls would be for her husband's house, not Brij's. However, Brij was not prepared for the way Grissa cut off all emotional ties with him. The way she avoided Brij and refused to acknowledge him as her father, throughout her life, even after his passing, was the price that Brij paid for his choices. Also, you can imagine the embarrassment when, a decade later, Brij had to ask Grissa for money to buy fuel. He even relied on Grissa's wages to eat, and help pay school fees for her younger siblings. You better believe that Brij lived to regret everything he did to Grissa every time he had to park outside Grissa's workplace on paydays waiting for her to give and lend him money. Don't be found guilty of injustice or favoritism. Job 4:8 KJV says, "Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity, and sow wickedness, reap the same." 2 Corinthians 9:6 says, "But this I say, he who soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he who soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully." Galatians 6:7-10 says, "Be not deceived. God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith." Leviticus 19:15 "Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor." Acts 10:34-35 says, "Then Peter opened his mouth, and said, Of a truth I perceive that God is no respecter of persons, but in every nation he that feareth him, and worketh righteousness, is accepted with him." Matthew 10:35-38 KJV says, "For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross, and followeth after me, is not worthy of me."
Hello, my friend.
Hello, Delilah.
I came rushing to this place. When you called, you sounded excited. What's up, Lizzie? Did you win the lottery?
I did better than that.
What?
I couldn't wait to share the good news with you.
I hope she's going to give me some money.
Say what?
Nothing.
I heard you, Lizzie. Unfortunately, I don't have any more money to give you. I am sorry that old Bartholomew swindled all of the money that I gave him to give you.
You shouldn't have given him the money, Lizzie. I never saw a cent of it. Instead, old Bartholomew spent all the money on alcohol and booking hotel rooms.
I sacrificed a lot to give you that money. I wanted to help you to start a business.
I am ashamed of that man that I call my husband.
Enough of that.
I hope old Bartholomew's snitches are not following me around as usual. Let's find somewhere private to talk.
There is no one else here, Delilah. Stop living in fear. Besides, we aren't doing anything wrong.
Okay, please share the good news. Come on, tell me.
I'm getting married.
What? Are you tying the knot with Sia?
Yes, Siabonga and I will be tying the knot in England in a few months' time.
So soon?
What do you mean by saying, so soon? I know people who got married after dating for 3 weeks.
I guess congratulations are in order.
Thank you, Delilah.
So, since Sia is a qualified engineer who works for a prestigious car manufacturing company in the UK, does this mean that you will continue to help me out financially or not? The way I see it, if I add up what both of you make, then it shouldn't be difficult for you to give me £500 more.
No, Delilah. Kindly note that I will not be able to give you any more money going forward.
Why not? Has Sia started controlling your money already?
No, we went for financial counseling where we came up with a financial plan that we are following. The financial plan will help us to become debt-free in a few years. We want to pay off Sia's outstanding university fees balance and put down a deposit to buy our house.
No man, the two of you are rushing things.
What do you mean, Delilah?
From experience, and if I were to get married again, I'd look out for the following. Credit score, know all of his debts, get his credentials checked or verified by trusted authorities, such as banks and lawyers, visit his family, know his friends, find out about his previous relationships, and most importantly get your hands on his medical records. It's also very important that you both get a full health checkup at a reputable hospital or clinic, and make sure you are both tested for HIV.
What?
It's a long process because your blood types and medical history have to be checked by a qualified physician or specialist, who checks for compatibility and any underlying illnesses, and to ensure that both of you do not have any hereditary diseases that may be passed on to your offspring. After all that is done, you will need to go for counseling. Ideally, married church elders should counsel you for at least 6 months.
What? I know that people preach about all that, but who does all that anyways? Today, a person may test negative because he or she has a low viral load, but a week after the tests, the person may test positive. In my opinion, what counts is the person's character, their relationship with God, and trustworthiness.
Yes, I agree with you, Lizzie, but there is no harm in getting tested. Ideally, you should get tested together at a neutral testing facility. If the test results show that he has high blood pressure, then you'll both work towards improving his eating habits and exercise routine. However, if either party tests positive for hepatitis B or even HIV, then that is a different story. You can still choose to live together, however, you'll need to make several lifestyle changes. Knowing all this information in advance helps both of you to make informed decisions about your health, finances, and life in general.
This is food for thought. Thanks, Delilah.
You're welcome. Since it'll take months to complete, I think you'll be able to help me out financially along the way.
No, Delilah, I do not have any more money to give you. I am now preparing for the wedding. In addition, we need to buy a family car, buy a house, buy household furniture, and so forth.
It was better for me while you were single.
Say what? Don't be selfish, Delilah. You know that I'll help you whenever I can.
Yes, thanks, Lizzie. However, this marriage is not good for me personally because you won't be able to help me as much as you used to.
I tried my best to help you out, Delilah.
Yes, but you and your would-be husband have spoilt everything for me.
Psalm 111, 10 KJV says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever." Ephesians 5:22-27 says, "Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church, and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot, or wrinkle, or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish." Ephesians 5:28-33 says, "So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourisheth and cherisheth it, even as the Lord the church, for we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Nevertheless let every one of you in particular so love his wife even as himself, and the wife see that she reverence her husband."
Good morning, Mr. Gilbert, sir.
Good morning, Brij.
Why do you look so sad, sir? I hope everything is going well.
I am sorry to be the bearer of bad news, Brij, but a lot of changes are being made to the company's structure. Unfortunately, this morning I had to let go of 4 of my very loyal staff.
I am sorry to hear that, sir.
You know that in all these years that I have known you, I have always looked out for you, Brij.
Yes, sir, and I am grateful for that.
I am not supposed to tell you this, Brij, but I suggest you come to my office during your lunch hour.
Yes, sir.
A few hours later.
Please come and have a look at this internal memo. This is a top secret. I decided to share this information with you so that you can start saving money and preparing for your exit.
What? My name is on the final list of the staff that are to go on early retirement. I will not be able to survive on the pension money that is mentioned there.
For most of us, getting retrenched, losing our jobs, businesses or livelihood is one of the worst things that could possibly happen to us. The devil knows it and he rejoices each time we break or moan over our lost livelihood. Isn't it time we changed the narrative? Perhaps, losing your job or business is redirection? Let us try to rejoice and be thankful at all times, for whatever happens in a Christian's life is God's will. Trust that he will turn everything around for your good at the appointed time. In the meantime, learn to save and invest during seasons of plenty, and let's all normalize having multiple sources of income. Pray, have faith in God, and seek God's heart to see life clearly. 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18 and 22-24 KJV says, "Rejoice evermore. Pray without ceasing. In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. Abstain from all appearance of evil. And the very God of peace sanctify you wholly. And I pray God your whole spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless unto the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. Faithful is he that calleth you, who also will do it." Philippians 4:4 and 6-7 says, "Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say, rejoice. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving let your requests be made known unto God. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus."
Don't worry too much about it, Brij. The severance package includes a lump sum of money that you could use to start a business.
Sir, that money is not enough to cover the amount remaining on my mortgage. Also, I was hoping that the company would give me the company car or sell it to me at a reasonable price. I sold my personal vehicle a few months ago, and if I lose the company car then I will need to buy a new private car.
Speak softly, Brij. I believe that they will give you first preference to buy your company car. If you cannot purchase it then they'll put it up for auction. I am sorry, Brij.
So when is my last day of work?
I managed to convince top management to give you all at least 6 months to train the sales and marketing team that will be replacing you. You will need to take them around to meet all of our clients, teach them everything, and after 6 months, the guys will take over from you.
So you expect us to train the same people who will be replacing us? Why would we want to do that?
It's company policy, Brij. The new laws have dictated that we hire young graduates and let go of older and less educated staff.
If the company does not want my services anymore, then it's best I quit right away.
No, Brij. Do not make any decisions in pain or anger. If I were you, I'd use this time to plan and save wisely. Do not end things badly with the company. You never know, the company might call you back on contract. Do not burn any bridges, Brij.
This hurts deeply. I wasn't expecting this.
A few minutes later.
Who are you and what are you doing on my desk?
I am. My name is Carlos Mandino. I am your replacement, Mr. Mandino.
What do you mean by saying that you are Mr. Mandino replacing me, the original, Mr. Mandino?
I have spent my whole life waiting for this day.
What do you mean?
Do you remember Rachel Justin, the pregnant woman you abandoned years ago at the Guzama village?
I don't remember anyone by that name. I knew a Rachel many years ago, but I don't remember her last name.
Well, I am your lost son, Dad. Today, my mother must be rejoicing in heaven upon seeing me unite with my dad and upon seeing that I am set to take over his job.
What?
I studied hard at school, followed in your footsteps, and took things further by hawking on the streets of Calcutta until I could afford to see myself through university. I then moved to this country and applied for your job.
What?
Aren't you happy to see me, Dad? Today, I am victorious. The son you abandoned years ago is now standing right in front of you, Dad. Won't you give me a hug?
It's a lie. This can't be happening.
Thank you for watching this episode of Nana and Brij, Breaking Free from Bondage. Please subscribe to our channel so that you get notified each time we upload a new video. Brij worshipped other gods, and he forced his wife to go with him to shrines. Do not do that. Why should a married woman, the children, or anyone for that matter be forced into anything, and especially fetish and ungodly practices? This is wrong. It appears that Brij's spirit medium and all of the things he put on Brij, and everything he gave Brij in an effort to remove Brij's name from the retrenchment list didn't work. Sometimes we need to be rational instead of superstitious or engrossed in fetish beliefs. If perchance Brij's name wasn't on the retrenchment list, then all glory should be given to Jesus, and if Brij was a devout Christian, and his name appeared on the retrenchment or early retirement list, then blessed be the name of the Lord. Still, all glory belongs to Jesus, because he is working everything together for our good. Perhaps Brij should have gone back to school and obtained a degree. Perhaps he should have learned more about investing and made better investment choices to secure his future. And perhaps his situation would have been better if he had less debt, and if he had cleared his mortgage first before getting bank loans to help him build cottages to lease out on his property. Brij found himself in a difficult situation, but no condition is permanent, and if he could return to the Almighty, then the Lord would work his situation around for good. We would like to leave you with the following verses to ponder on. Romans 8:27-28 KJV says, And he that searcheth the hearts knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of God. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. Romans 8:29-32 says, For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called, and whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, them he also glorified. What shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? He that spared not his own Son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? Our last few verses come from the book of Job 22. Job 22:21-26 says, Acquaint now thyself with him, and be at peace, thereby good shall come unto thee. Receive, I pray thee, the law from his mouth, and lay up his words in thine heart. If thou return to the Almighty, thou shalt be built up, thou shalt put away iniquity far from thy tabernacles. Then shalt thou lay up gold as dust, and the gold of Ophir as the stones of the brooks. Yea, the Almighty shall be thy defense, and thou shalt have plenty of silver. For then shalt thou have thy delight in the Almighty, and shalt lift up thy face unto God. Job 22:27-30 says, Thou shalt make thy prayer unto him, and he shall hear thee, and thou shalt pay thy vows. Thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon thy ways. When men are cast down, then thou shalt say, There is lifting up, and he shall save the humble person. He shall deliver the island of the innocent, and it is delivered by the pureness of thine hands. Thank you for watching this episode of Nana and Brij, breaking free from bondage. Watch out for the next episode. Remain blessed.